Welcome back to Skate Around 3 here in Namur, Belgium, hosted by the fabulous Namur Derby girls. So we've had the Skate Around 3 tournament games. This is an extra added special game as part of the tournament. So it is the Namur B team, Les Parpaings, up against Beastie Derby girls from Reims in France. I'm Dork Mistress.
I am Knikmops.
And we're going to just run you through the rosters for the two teams. Up first we have Namur Roller Girls. It is 000 Buzz Fighter, 127 Sailor Mean, 1771 Tresca, 27 Chloroform, 5 Mariole, 050 Shat, 6 Chloe, 80 Microshat, 86 Dr. Pebble, 88 Mobocop, 91 Loca Nurse, the captain, 978 GI Joanna, and 999 Blitzkrieg.
On Reims Roller Derby, we have 08 La Pharmacienne, 117 Les Crocs, 13 Melicelas, 18 Ferocious Coin, 21 She Demon, 235 Mami Weinstein, 29 Puput, 294 Voltaren, 33 Electric Kitty, 4 Marora, 439 Alexander Supertramp, 57 Kruger, she's also the captain, 84 Rocky Blah Blah Blah, and 00 Spin Alien.
So we saw Namur B play last year as part of Skate Around, and it's just a great opportunity to showcase new up-and-coming roller derby talent. We haven't seen Beastie Derby girls.
No.
So I think this is, the first time I've had a chance to see them. So I'm really excited to see how these two teams are going to play together.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit surprised. I'm not from very far, and I don't really know this team. So I'm really looking forward of seeing what they have to offer, and especially playing against the B team of Namur. That's also a very good team, a consistent team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them play once again.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't had enough amazing roller derby this weekend, so I'm really grateful we've got this final game, and the period whistle has gone. So the teams are lining up on track. So it is Beastie Derby girls who are playing in black, and it is Namur who are playing in grey. So we have Tresca on the jam line for Namur, and it is number 235 Mamie Weinstein for Beastie Derby girls.
So Namur has this is their B team, but they also have a C team, so that makes their B team even. They are already experienced players when they enter that B team, so it's good to see them play and give them that experience, really.
And with our extensive research, we found that Beastie Derby girls have been going since 2011, so should also be a strong established team. And you can see that massive hit out there from Namur, hitting out Mamie Weinstein, but that has let Tresca through, not picking up lead. So it was actually then Mamie Weinstein picking up lead, hit out, recycled, forced to call off that jam. No points for either team.
That was done by our captain, Loca Nurse, so she did a good job of catching that jammer right in the end, forcing her to call off. No points were scored in that first jam. So we have number 18 and 27 on the jam line. 18 for Reims, that is Ferocious Coin, and it is number 27 for Namur, which is Chloroform. That's a twister. You should say that at home 20 times in a row. Chloroform. Lead is for Namur. They are coming by. Oh, nice sting inbounds there on one toe stop by the jammer of Namur, scoring the first points in this jam, in this game even, and it's 4 points for the home league, Namur. We had an extremely exciting game before this one, also played by Namur, their A team. So we're really looking forward to seeing what happens now. We have 2 blockers on the track for Namur and 3 for Reims, or the BC Derby girls.
As you were saying earlier in the other exciting game, penalties played a big decider in who was going to win that game, and it may be the case in this game that that is also the case.
So, right as we said it, we have a full penalty box for Namur with only one blocker on the track who has to hold the pack as well. So that makes it easier for the Beastie Derby girls to actually do all the work. But it is Namur who has the lead. They are on their scoring pass, and they decided to keep this rolling, probably to empty out the penalty box. Jammer for the Beastie Derby girls is, I can't see her number, I'll tell you later, and she has been recycled by 127, that is Sailor Mean there. Look at that work the jammers have to do to get past. It's not easy at all. Namur is on their scoring pass, and if I see it correctly, I think Beastie Derby girls are also on their scoring pass, so both teams are in the line of scoring points. Beastie Derby girls doing this as the first in this jam, 4 points scored. And the jam is called off as the penalty box is completely empty. Scoring, Namur scored 3 more points for their team, 7-4 at the end of this second pretty long jam. Next on the line is again Treska, and for Beastie Derby girls we have Spin Alien on the line, first time jamming today. An immediate no pack was called because the Namur girls were going back, and this helped their jammer to get the lead since she could skate all the way to the front of the pack. But Spin Alien is not taking things slow, but in quick pursuit following the jammer. Treska only taking the 2 points there at the back of the pack, provided by her blockers, and then calling off the jam. Slowly but surely, Namur is paving the way for their lead to go up. We have number 27 for them on the jammer line. Now that is chloral form. I would strongly suggest to make that name a little bit easier. It's pretty difficult to pronounce. And then on the jammer line for Beastie Derby girls, we have 2, 3, 5. Mamie Weinstein again. We've seen this battle before. It was Namur who took the lead. We'll see what happens now.
And that is a tight pack up on turn 1. And solid defense from both sides, not letting any of the jammers through. And just as I say that, obviously, Mamie Weinstein gets through. Announcer's curse is a real thing.
I don't know how that happens. It's like people should pay us to say stuff, and then it will come true.
Corruption in sport is real.
Okay, I did not say that, I'm sorry.
So that was no points for either team, so we still stay at 4 for Beastie and 9 for Les Parpaings. And so on the jam line we have number 18, Furious Coin, and she is up against
someone who has her ponytail over her number.
Do they never think of the announcers when they get dressed? But it is Furious Coin who gets through. Lead jammer, but closely followed by number 6, who is Chloe from Les Parpaings. So, and it's Furious Coin hits the pack and is immediately calls off the jam, but does pick up 3 points, particularly because of the 2 non-blockers in the box.
Yeah, again, and now we start with 2 blockers for Namur on the track, but Beastie Derby girls clearly in the advantage with 4 blockers on the track. We are seeing Treska again on the line. We've seen her before, and number 43 of Reims.
There's 439 Alexander Super Trumpet.
That's the first time she's jammed this game. So So against only 2 blockers, so a good defensive job there. Was not easy to pass immediately, but it is Alexander Supertramp who takes the lead. Alexander Supertramp. That's the guy from Into the Wild. Right.
I was wondering the reference, and unfortunately not one that I get, but I can see how that works as a name. So both jammers still in the pack, or Tresca not out of her initial pass yet. Alexander picking up points.
Yes. Being recycled to the back of the track though. And back again behind that strong defense there by Namur.
There's an attempted star pass by Namur and an achieved star pass. So it's now Buzzfight here, who is jamming and is out front. So that star pass very effective, has got that out, and that Alexander though sneaks through on the outside. I'm not sure Namur noticed that Alexander was coming through. Gets the points and calls that jam.
Well, if they noticed, they didn't have much of an answer against that massive offense there done by Beastie Derby Girls. The fact that they had to let the jammers go gave them the opportunity to actually secure those 4 points for their team there in the end.
And the defense in this game is so strong. I mean, 20 points scored in the first 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's
total.
Nothing. Yeah.
You know, that's a jam in some of the games that we've seen today. So great work from both teams. So on the jam line now we have number 27. That is Chloroform from Namur. And is out lead jammer for Les Parpaings.
Again, 1 blocker for Namur down in the penalty box. It will cost them a few problems, but then we have a Spin Alien still working on her initial pass there back in the pack. So it is actually Chloroform who is in control and in charge for this game.
And definitely, as you see, completing that 4-point scoring pass. So actually putting Les Parpaings into the lead for the in this game, which is already a lead change, and we have just 10 minutes to go.
That was number 21, She Demon, forcing that Namur blocker to call it off, giving her that hit at the end of the pack, forcing her to fall down outside even, so she had to call off the jam to make sure that the other team didn't score any points.
I mean, it says a lot when 8 points is the highest scoring jam in the game so far. And it just shows how solid the defense is from both teams, and what a great game this is to watch if you love blocking.
Yes. It's also good to see the beginning strategies. This is the first time I think Beastie Derby Girls are taking the back at the start to see what happens. It's a chosen strategy by Namur. We've seen it this weekend as well with their A team to fall back and hold that jammer back to force a no pack. And it's now actually the other way around. And for the Beastie Derby Girls, it's paying off. They are having lead at the in this jam 9 of this game.
And in these last 2 jams, it has been Namur picking up the penalties, not Beastie. And we saw how much of an impact penalties have been having all weekend, and how clean Beastie Derby Girls are playing right now.
The Beastie Derby Girls have had not many penalties. I'm not saying no because I could not say, but they did not have many penalties. Although, and that up against a pretty penalty-heavy game, our team can give them the benefit at
give
the
them
end.
a real advantage, particularly towards the end of the game. And it is Namur again with another blocker penalty.
And a star pass as well, so their number 9-1, She Demon, is in the back of the pack trying to actually still make that initial pass. In the meantime, we have Loka Nurse on her second scoring pass and going into her 3rd scoring points for the Beastie Derby Girls.
But it is Beastie also that makes it out of the pack. That is number 235. That is Mamie Weinstein for Beastie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was reading the names opposite. And we have a lead change now here. So they scored an...
And we also have an official timeout, just checking that everyone is okay, all the skaters are fine. So while we're in that, this is a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you say, oh, it's going to be Namur B, we are not seeing B team performances.
No.
We're seeing comparatively clean play, very strong defense. And, you know, I think the only difference for me between this and games that we've seen all weekend is probably that the jammers aren't quite as strong.
Yeah, and maybe not as fast.
Yeah.
Indeed, as the jammers we've seen so far, but the blocking is really experienced. It's not someone who's playing their first game or that sort of stuff. So we can really see that the benefit of a team that's been going on for a little bit longer, Beastie Derby Girls, since 2011, and then against a team that can benefit from the experience from their A team and. Like I'm going to say harvest is a weird word, but harvest people from their C team who are also pretty experienced can give you really that advantage.
And actually, having seen the game last year with Les Parpaings, you know, you can definitely see the B team has come on a huge amount in the last 12 months because that did feel like a B team game as part of Belgian Championships, and there was, you know, lots of falling over and lots of silly penalties, but this is a tight, controlled game by both teams.
Yes. I'd also know them as a competitor, and when I first started out, they had a very experienced B team. In the meantime, a lot of those players have gone to the A team, and the B team, it was a big change when those people went away. But now again, they have picked up that momentum and that really strong defense. What we also see with that A team.
Yeah.
It's good to see that those teams can benefit from each other.
Right. So apparently the two teams have met each other, but it has been that change in roster for Namur meant that actually the team that Beastie Derby Girls played is not the team that they're playing today.
Yeah.
So we can't really look at that as a guide to sort of past performance or future. What
it's always difficult with B teams to see at the past performances if we have a lot of people coming in and out. It makes such a difference.
It's so important for teams to have multiple leagues, to bring people to develop their skating and their roller derby skills at their own pace and give them lots of opportunities to play. But we are back underway. That was the period whistle restarting the game, and the teams are coming back on track. Thankfully, everybody is okay. So a big thank you to all the medics who've done sterling work all weekend. So we're having that pivot line start again. So it is, it's Furious Coin for Beastie up against, I think that's Buzz Fight Her.
I think so, yeah.
First time we've seen Buzz Fight Her on the jam line, I think.
Yeah. It is, but she did have a star pass earlier, which she did successfully, so we'll see how that jamming, full-time jamming pays off for her pretty well. So to see, as she is now done her initial pass after a little bit of a stumble, which was completely illegal, of course.
That was a low block, and I think that they knew that because as soon as the whistle went off the track to the box, I know what I did. Can't hide that one.
No, we both know it. So, but it's one of the few penalties that Beastie Derby Girls have done, and they did score the point. So 3-0 on that last pass, and it's actually we had a little bit of a lead change. We have 17 for Namur and 25 for Beastie Derby Girls, giving them the lead in this game.
Yes, and it has been just such a tight game in this first 13 minutes. And I think much as we were saying that, you know, the jammers are perhaps not as experienced as we've seen in the other games this weekend, particularly Beastie Derby Girls jammers have been able to get through for lead. It's just they haven't been able to capitalise it, perhaps on multiple scoring passes. And as we say that, that is Alexander who is out first but is not lead, so it's no pass, no penalty. So, and we've also had a star pass by Beastie Derby Girls, so there will be no lead jammer. Nobody's eligible for lead, and it's Le Croc who is now jamming for Beastie, so this will go for the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, we saw the jammer who thought, we saw Chloe looking at the bench to eventually call it off, but it is not her in her power to do so. And so the bench also said to her, don't call it off.
Yeah, and so I think the thing is that Beastie thought lead had been awarded, hadn't heard the whistle. Don't assume it till you hear the whistle. And I think that's just a lack of experience.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have 2 blockers in the box for Beastie Derby Girls. I think this is the first time they had so many people in the box. And it's obvious that they need all of those blockers on the track.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy for the jammers now to pass through. We're going at the highest scoring jam of this game because I'm lacking a little bit of focus here, maybe, because even the girls from Namur do not seem to find each other on the track here for a couple of scoring passes.
Yeah, they definitely weren't forming the walls quick enough to hold back the jammers, who were able to get round. Chloe hit out and recycled back to turn 2. There's Laycroc who is pushing out up front. But as you say, it's 3 blockers from each team. But Beastie get their blocker released just at the end of that jam. So we will start with a pack advantage to Beastie Derby Girls. And that was, as you say, a very high scoring jam. 19 points for Namur, 14 for Beastie, taking 36 to 39. So we have another lead change. Les Parpaings now only 3 points behind Beastie Derby Girls. No, not a lead change, almost a lead change.
Almost a lead change.
Almost lead change.
But the points have almost doubled here at this game now.
In that one jam.
In that one jam. So it is Chloral Form who is really happy with her lead there, because now we have the opportunity to actually have that lead change that we thought we had earlier.
I was just getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, that happens to the best of us.
So we have a star pass from Beastie, from Spin Alien to She-Demon, and forces that call-off, but not in time. Namur picking up 3 points, but there was a no pass, no point, so that is now a tied game. It's not even a lead change. I am going to not say another thing about lead changes.
Me neither. I was also getting ahead of myself.
So we have a tied game, 13 minutes, 46 seconds left in this half. What a cracker.
Yeah, it's a great... It's great to see those 2 teams being able to match up to each other. I like those kinds of games. We've had one before. I almost cried, but we can manage now. We'll contain our excitement for the second half, where we will actually see all of these points benefiting those 2 teams.
So we have Tresca on the jam line for Les Parpaings. We have Mamie Weinstein for Beastie. Both jammers struggling. 25 seconds into the jam with no lead, and it's Tresca pushing out up front, Mamie Weinstein pushing at the rear, at the apex between turns 1 and 2. But Tresca now in the straightaway. One blocker left, pushes through, out of play for lead, and that was a failure to reform for number 57, Kruger. So this now has pack advantage to Namur. Mamie Weinstein also out, completing her initial pass, about to approach for points. But Tresca sees the danger and calls that jam off. Picking up, we're just waiting to see the jam ref consulting with the OPRs on the number of points.
Was a good communication between the OPRs there too. Tresca calling off at the outside line, a little bit small, and it was the OPR who actually stepped in and said, "We're calling off the jam."
No, to the jam ref saying call off the jam.
Yeah, of course.
And we have an official timeout because they are still consulting about the number of points in that jam.
3 points.
3 points.
Slap them on the board.
So we do have a lead change. We've gone from a tied game to Namur picking up 3 points, takes them to 42 points, 39 for Beastie Derby Girls. 12 minutes, 15 seconds left in this half. I didn't think I could get excited again after that last game, but I am.
I also was afraid that my energy level was going to be low. It was so close. It came up to the last jam. Those kinds of games, those are the games you have to watch and rewatch 1,000 times to relive those moments, really.
But this game is already thrilling. And it is Namur who pick up lead, Les Parpaings and Chloe jamming. And we have Furious Coin for Beastie Derby Girls, who is stuck in the pack.
Beastie right in time with their recycling and their defensive wall being up, but the jammer taking the interesting move of going out and then in so that the blockers have a hard time following her. And she's out, completing her first scoring pass, scoring the 4 points for her team. In the meantime, the Beastie Derby Girls jammer has been pushed out, and we have a completed star pass to number 6-4, if I'm correct.
84 is Rocky, blah, blah, blah.
That's her.
Yep. And sort of trying to put the helmet cover on, but Chloe is approaching behind her. They're both reaching the pack. Chloe going for the points, and her team have helped by goating one of the Beastie skaters, so definitely picking up a point in that, picking up 2 points, but still denying Beastie Derby Girls any points.
Something interesting happened. She jammed her way through the pack, but if you do not have that star cover on, you cannot score those points. And also her coach said to her, like, next time, put that thing on. All of those efforts for nothing.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. Team timeout called by Beastie Derby Girls. Good time to call a timeout.
I agree.
Because Namur is starting to take control of the game. So Beastie Derby Girls need to work out how to change that up, how to sort of tweak their tactics, lock down the jammers, or you know, get their own jammers through. So it's a good opportunity to kind of change it up.
In the beginning, we saw very good starting strategies, but I have the idea that with a bit of a penalty calls and all of that, a little bit of a jumble there in the beginning, that the cleanness of the game has left a little. So maybe that's what they are saying to each other, like,
calm down.
Calm down. We're going to do what we practice. Start with that clean start that we did in the beginning. Take a couple of leads. 1 point is enough, and just climb our way back up.
Take the control, take the momentum away from Les Parpaings, and bring it home to ourselves. So that kind of centering, you know,
for sure. As my coach from the B team, well, my former coach from the B team, now is CC Titmouse, who's also a player for Antwerp, she always said, dominate, dominate, dominate. And it's something that I often say to myself when I'm on the track as well, like, dominate this game. So maybe that's what they say.
Yeah.
I hope they are.
Because at the moment, Namur are pretty much on their way to be able to say that they're doing that. So let's see what Beastie Derby Girls can do. On the jam line, we have Mamie Weinstein for Beastie. We have Chloral Form for Les Parpaings.
It's again Namur who takes that strong start in the beginning to let that front of the pack be pushed out. It was not fast enough, though, for their jammer to actually benefit from the no-pack situation. But now we are looking at the same scrum there at the end of the second half.
So G.I. Joanna picking up a direction call, trying to bring some offense to hold back Chloral Form, to hold back Mamie Weinstein, but doesn't work. Picking up lead jammer for Beastie Derby Girls. We said we needed to change the dynamic. This is a great way to do that.
It is a power jam, so it could mean anything really for them, and it's a good coordinated offense, leading them with all the points and with a limited amount of effort for Mamie Weinstein there. So good call made there by them.
Namur with one blocker and the jammer in the box, but both are standing, so about to come back out. And that's offense going in to help Mamie Weinstein. Helps and gets out, calls the jammer, but the other jammer was released before the fourth whistle. So we will not be starting on a power start. But then, you know, do I take 4 points or do I take a power start? At this game, at this stage, I'll take 4 points.
It could have been an interesting strategy to wait it out because the jammer still had to do initial pass. So you could have gone for one more scoring pass, maybe. It's a thing to think about. Maybe you don't want to tire your players out. It's all in the tactics.
But 8 points for Beastie, taking them to 47, just 5 points behind Namur. And we're underway again. Tresca on the jam line against Spin Alien.
She was being recycled there on the outside line, and it is Spin Alien who takes home the lead.
But the pack is being pushed into the apex between turns 1 and 2. Tresca having to work really hard, but Namur breaking up the Beastie Derby Girls wall. We're seeing some great offense in the pack, and both jammers trying to take advantage of this quite spread out collection of people.
I see that the blockers are a little bit confused with offense and defense, and then forgetting to play the defense when the jammer arrives. But Namur seems to grasp it pretty well now, and they were good together in the back and in the front of the pack.
So Tresca is out completing her initial pass, coming through for points. Spin Alien sees the danger, calls the jam, picks up the 4. So that, now that takes it to an interesting place. We are at 52 points to Namur Les Parpaings, and we have 51 points for Beastie Derby Girls. 7 minutes 57 left in this half. Back to almost a tied game.
Good timeout. They had a good timeout.
Yeah, it's like the last 23 minutes haven't mattered. So we have on the jam line for Beastie Derby Girls, we have Alexander, and we have, trying to see who the jammer is.
That's number 6.
Oh, Chloe.
Chloe.
For Les Parpaings.
With the invisible number and the ponytail.
Nobody ever thinks of us. They just think about how cool they look.
Good strategizing there by Namur. Good, successful pushing them out of play there, and the jammer for Beastie Derby Girls still stuck behind that wall, that extremely strong wall by Namur, and Chloe there quickly dancing her way through the pack, but being stuck there at the end. We have a power jam situation. The jammer for Beastie Derby Girls was sent to the penalty box. I do not know why, but
she did something naughty. That we know
for sure.
Yeah,
something that is not okay.
And this gives Chloe a real chance to establish some clear sort of space between Namur and Beastie Derby Girls. And again, the offense going in from Namur freed up the inside line, some great positional blocking. And
very similar tactic to what Namur is, what Beastie Derby Girls themselves play.
Yeah. So, but that jam comes to its end, and that is 8 points for Namur, taking them to 60. So 2 multiple scoring passes. Sorry, 2 multiple scoring passes equaling 2.
I got you.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend and there's been a lot of energy and excitement going on. 6 minutes left in this game, 9 points between the two teams, and we are starting with a power start to Namur, and it is
number 27,
Chloroform, who is on the jam line, but Alexander released almost immediately and still eligible for lead, so both jammers in the pack eligible for lead. It's Chloroform who pushes out up front, lead jammer for Namur.
Stuck there behind the pack is Alexander. Super Tramp following her offense. Really good job there by Rocky Blah Blah, and then passing through her initial pass. Chloroform then ending her scoring pass there, scoring the 4 points for her team, enlarging their lead. And there was one scoring pass at a time.
And there was a cut penalty assessed right at the end of the jam, and that was to number 13, Melissa Lace. I'm probably saying that horribly wrong. I apologize to both teams for my atrocious pronunciation. I am trying my best, and I'm
apology accepted.
I'm also admiring the sparkly jacket from the Beastie Derby Girls bench team. I'm all about a bit of shiny.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
So we're in an official review. So yeah, this has been a really thrilling game. Much, really close, but things changing, switching up. But Namur probably, if you had to call the game, it's probably 52% Namur, 48% Beastie Derby Girls at this stage. And so it's, we've got 5 or 6 minutes left in this half. It's who's going to go into halftime with the advantage, and then who's going to come out on fire.
Yeah, because after that timeout, we did feel that Beastie Derby Girls got their dominance back, really, but it only took them 2 jams to lose it again. So will they be able to maintain it longer after maybe this official review or after halftime? And is it going to be Namur who's going to win that mental game of taking the lead and holding the lead and
I think
maintaining it?
And I think you're right. At this point, with these two teams playing the way they are, it's the mental game that's gonna decide who wins.
We underestimate the mental game always, I believe. Bit of a stumble there.
Yeah. That's one of our fabulous ref crew. That is Twixie, who's done a fantastic job all weekend, along with Coca-Cola's. Big whoop. El Skellington, Polydemore, Dido, and Gautier.
Yeah, I don't have them on my...
Apologies, that it's handwritten and I was trying to read it without my reading glasses.
We've all been there.
So I'm standing here with a sheet at the end of my arm. So big thank you to all the referees. When we have Ginger Snaps, Alpagnetti, Enjoy, Grace Killett, Cowan Bunga, No Wheels Strong Bottom, Slain, Blanchefest, Brain of Terror, Wonder Zebra, and Lamesh Seitse as the fabulous NSO crew.
That sounds like top of the cream of the crop, we'll say it.
And that official review has come to an end. So that was an official review called by Beastie Derby Girls. So we will see from the little dot what happened. But I can't see any changes in personnel or points. Still 64 playing 51, and we're underway. As you say, the official review was lost, so nothing changed.
Quick lead there by Tresca on the outside line. But in close pursuit is Ferocious Coin. Pack is speeding up a little. It's in the benefit for the BC Derby Girls that they kill a little time now with one of them in the box. Tresca being pushed out, and number 57 of BC Derby Girls has a strong, it's Kruger. She has she's a dominant player on the track at this point. She was the one holding Tresca back, and she's a lot of the times the last blocker standing. So she really stands out from her team. We'll see how that works out for them.
So 2 points for Namur in that last jam, taking them to 66, eking that lead out to 14 points. And with just 4 minutes left in this half, we have Mamie Weinstein on the jam line for Beastie Derby Girls, Chloe for Namur, and it is Beastie Derby Girls who get lead jammer for Mamie Weinstein.
All the meanwhile, Chloe is being recycled backwards, and she's still working on her initial pass, while Mamie Weinstein takes full advantage and starts scoring those points, tiptoeing around the outside line, confusing the blockers who think she's out, but she's not, and so she manages to stay in bounds.
And that was incredible, because actually what was really good was Namur blocked right to the line. But you need to block over it. You need to be pushing the jammer past the point of gravity and relativity.
Especially when you have a jammer that is so good at being on the line. But I've been there too. Like, you are absolutely sure that that jammer is out. You are starting your recycling bag, and all of a sudden you see her in the front of the pack.
And you're like, what? No! 4 points for Beastie Derby Girls, taking them to 55, 66 for Les Parpaings. So it's now an 11-point game, 3 minutes left in this half.
I love it when you can't really call the game. Like, at this point, it's really anyone's game.
It's flip a coin time. So we have Spin Alien on the jam line for Beastie Derby Girls up against Chloroform for Les Parpaings, and it is Chloroform who makes it out lead jammer status.
Good offense there. Also, we're done by Kruger once again, and but it's for Namur, it's their scoring pass, and it goes pretty easily. A little bit of tiptoeing, and she's off, while Spin Alien gets recycled back. And I feel that she has a bit of trouble with her wheels to stand upright, or keep standing upright.
And I think what happened there was Beastie Derby Girls had a 2-and-1 formation, and they really needed to be that 3 to hold back Chloroform. But it is now Spin Alien who's pushing out Namur wall up front. It's a 3-wall ahead, but actually the pack has collapsed, so now Namur can do a 4-wall.
No offense there for any of those jammers, so the jammers are all by their lonesome.
Although Namur now able to send back one blocker, but the pack has really collapsed into one thing. So that's the end of that jam.
A bit of a hard fall there for the jammer from Namur. Good hit, completely legal, though.
Oh, yeah, and we could hear that. So that was 7 points for Namur. Again, just extending that lead out. So this is what we've seen. We've seen Namur take the lead, then we've seen Beastie Derby Girls try and catch up. And they are still catching up on the whole, but Namur are just able to get out in front a little bit more each time. So it's sort of like they're on elastic.
I agree. And it's also they don't go for the full 4 points.
No.
2, 3 is enough.
Yeah.
But the lead again is for Beastie Derby Girls, and it's Alexander Supertramp who is in the lead, closely followed by Tresca.
Yeah, it's about quarter of a lap difference between the two jammers. Alexander Supertramp happy to just try and get points, 2 points for Beastie Derby Girls. Again, closing that gap back down. 73 now plays 57, which is 16 points between the two teams. Who knew that doing arithmetic at school would pay off?
I'm really bad at it, so I should not be allowed to do any math.
So it's 31 seconds left on the period clock, so this is going to be the final jam. Why did I do that? I'm going to jinx it in some way.
Yes. Don't do it. Don't make calls like that. It is Ferocious Coin who takes the lead pretty quickly. Chloe being stuck behind 2 of the blockers, but managing to push through. She's now in the front of the pack. Last hit by Kruger, but no good. She is through. First scoring pass for Ferocious Coin. Can she make the full 4 points? We shall see. It was a bit of a struggle there. It's the 2 points. 3 points scored for Beastie Derby Girls. 73 for Namur, 60 for Beastie Derby Girls, and this is how we go in intermission.
Absolutely, and as we said, the two have been so close the whole way. It's been an absolute fantastic first half to watch. We'll be back in about 14 minutes to bring you the second half of this game. I've been Dork Mistress.
I've been Knickmops.
And welcome back to the final game of this thrilling weekend of roller derby hosted by Namur Roller Girls. It is Skate Around 3. We are in the extra added value special bonus game of Namur Beastie.
Great name.
Les Parpaings are playing Beastie Derby Girls from Reims in France. It has been an incredible first half, lots of lead changes, 73 points to Namur, 60 points to Beastie Derby Girls, 30 seconds left into intermission. I'm Dork Mistress.
I am Knickmops.
And we have loved this game. It has been such a strong game. It's a game about defence, and you can see that from the really low score. I mean, you were saying at the start of the weekend, less than 100 points at half-time, strong defensive game.
Yes. Yeah, and I was thinking it right before we went into intermission. Again, I thought, this is not the game that I expected.
No.
Like, I love it when teams kind of blow you away and put you, like, on your place and say, yeah, we got this.
And I think the blocking that we've seen has blown both of us away at times. Such strong defense from each team. Want to see more offense, because I always love a bit of offense, and want to see the jammer skills. We are underway again. It is Tresca for Namur jamming up against Mamie Weinstein for Beastie Derby Girls.
Both jammers we have seen before. One of the Beastie Derby Girls is off to the box. It's Kruger. She's a dominant player here for the Beastie Derby Girls so far. Lead for Mamie Weinstein.
And this is what we've seen. We've seen that Mamie Weinstein in particular is very good at picking up lead. And Beastie Derby Girls probably have the stronger jammers, but Namur are in the lead because they've been able to, I think, at times really lock down those jammers. Their defense has been
strategically. I think they have the upper hand here.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Thank you.
You are welcome. That's why we're a team.
Loca Nurse jamming for Namur, still in the pack on her initial, whereas Mamie Weinstein is now scoring second scoring pass complete. So that's 8 points in that first jam.
Yeah, and they're closing in.
Yeah, 5 points between the two teams. If you are behind by that little at the start of the second half, this is the start you want.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
And we're almost there.
That was beautiful. Backwards on 1 foot round the pack from Mamie Weinstein to pick up 4 more points. It is now a 1 point game. Loca Nurse still on her initials, so...
But I'm guessing Namur forgot to field a pivot. And
yes.
that's why she is still wearing her helmet cover.
Absolutely, because you would be expecting to look for the star pass, but we cannot see a pivot cover on. And again, this is where I think it's just some on-track experience kind of plays that role.
Yeah, I agree. And but I'm really curious on to see what happens next. So this was a dominant.
Oh, but that is a cut penalty assessed right at the end of the game on Locaness. So Beastie Derby girls take the lead in this jam with a massive first jam, taking them to 79 points, and start on a power start.
Yeah, they're starting with a lead change.
Starting with a lead change and a power start for the full 30 seconds. This is their dream start.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm also curious as to see if they can contain this. We've seen it before. They are dominant. They can do it 3 jams in a row, and then they lose their momentum a little. So we're hoping to see them containing that dominance.
And also, as you said, Namur tactically, strategically are a bit more, able to change things up, and so they're not going to let this go. They're not going to let it lie. So Furious Coin jamming for Beastie Derby girls, and is stuck behind a wall of 3 Namur blockers. The offense goes in, but actually still can't break up that wall.
So no lead is called, so the lead is still open. And as I said, we have our lead for BC Derby girls, but that is by Namur a very good penalty kill.
Oh, absolutely.
With the start pass here, because we did have a pivot on the track now. And
so that's Chlorolform, who is a main rotation jammer. So smart moves to put Chlorolform on as a pivot, guessing there was going to be a star pass, or at least leaving that open as an option. However, Beastie Derby girls still pick up 4 points, so extend their lead out to 10 points. 73 for Les Parpaings, 83 for Beastie Derby girls. Oh, 4 minutes gone in this half, and I feel a bit out of breath.
Yeah, everything kind of changed a little on us here. 10 points up for BC Derby girls. They started with being down at least 10 points for the first half. So we'll see what happens next. We have on the track now
Alexander Supertramp for Beastie Derby girls up against Chloe for Les Parpaings.
Alexander taking the lead here, and going in for her first scoring pass, Chloe being recycled back and trying to close her initial.
I think what we saw in the first half, when Namur were able to open up a lead, it was because they were holding back the Beastie Derby girls jammers, and I think this second half they haven't been able to do that. Beastie Derby girls have changed something up, and are able to get through those walls. 4 more points for Beastie Derby girls, 87 points now, playing 73.
And we have 2 people in the box for Namur, so that was a good way to call off the jam, making sure that they had the benefit of that smaller group and themselves with the 4 blockers. I have seen the BC Derby girls very low on the penalty count here. Namur a little bit, I'm not saying, but heavier, not as, and a bit heavier on the penalties indeed.
Oh, so, and a big sprawl on that jam line. Tresca up against Puput. First time we've seen Puput jamming for Beastie and picked up a cut track in that sprawl. So this is now a power jam to Namur. They're going to want to capitalize on this. This is their chance to swing the momentum back to them a bit and pick up some scoring passes. And that is 4 points for Tresca.
And that's where the tactics come in handy. These power jams are super heavy mentally, so you need to have like a good strategy to work on. And so it's very important that all the teams, or everyone in the team, is in on the strategy. And you can see that Namur has it down. Their strategy is well thought out, and well drilled.
So we have Pupu coming back on track, and that jam comes to an end, but it does mean that we won't start with the power start. Both jammers will be on the jam line, but that was 7 crucial points for Namur's Les Parpaings, taking them to 80 points, 87 points for Beastie Derby girls. Whew.
That is close. That's one jam, apart, and I'm looking for that one that one jam that you know that when it happened you're like, okay, this closes the deal. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that jam here that like, okay, they have it in the bag.
Chloral form for Les Parpaings, and it is Mamie Weinstein for Beastie Derby Girls. And
look at that defense.
oh, look at the tripods of joy. Well, not joy for the jammers, but for us who love the blocking. Oh, but it is a penalty for Chloral form. This is now a power jam for Beastie Derby Girls. And it is Mamie Weinstein out for lead, but that did take 25 seconds.
It's actually Beastie Derby Girls actually using the strategy that Namur used before them to drop back and demand that no pack, and so giving that space to their jammer, and it actually really worked very well there.
But that was a cut penalty picked up by Mamie Weinstein. One of those where, if you're watching it from our perspective, it was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah, indeed. And it's also the lead is now, they don't have lead anymore, so it's a 2-minute jam. We saw that before in the game, in the previous game as well. One jammer takes a penalty, and all of a sudden the other jammer is like, I want a penalty too, and they just went to the box, both of them.
Oh, but that is some strong blocking from Beastie Derby Girls on number 27 on Chloral form. And
nice work on the line there, but not a match for Kruger.
No, and that's good dynamic walling, fluid walling that we're seeing from Beastie Derby Girls. Actually from both teams, because Mamie Weinstein is back on track, and that's some defense, some offense coming in, but Microshat able to do the hit. Oh, look at that hit from Kruger. Yeah. Again, it is Kruger.
It's Kruger who does. She's waiting at the front of the pack, waiting for her opportunity, going to do offense, always with an eye on defense, and actually using that dynamic makes her team so much better. And
also, doesn't look like she's going in for a big hit, but it feels like you've been hit by a steam train.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. But that jam just called, making sure that everybody's okay. Yeah. Yep, and everybody is okay, so that is good news. But that was 4 points for Beastie Derby Girls and 91 points, now playing 80 from Namur. So, sorry, 7 points, 94 points, now playing 80. Still so close. And it is like these two teams are tied together with elastic. So one pushes forward and then it pulls the other along, or they pull them back. They can't get that far apart, no matter how hard they try, which is so much fun to watch.
Yeah. And we are starting with an empty penalty box. It's also nice to see, because then the teams are on their best and they can actually really benefit from it. We have an official timeout.
Yeah, having a little convocation of stripes in the middle. That seems to have been resolved.
We have had so many great officials here this weekend. Yeah. It's fun to watch. That the team in the middle is also a good team to play with.
And just made this whole weekend effortless.
Yeah.
So we're underway again, and it is Chloe on the jam line for Les Parpaings, and it is a furious coin for Beastie Derby Girls.
Quick lead there by Chloe on the outside line. Beautifully done. I think she confused the blockers a little with staying in bounds. Furious coin now closing her initial pass and passing through, putting the star back on her head. And then we have a little bit of a stumble there in the middle of the pack. Penalty called. One of the Beastie Derby Girls in the box, and Chloe calls off that jam. Did score the 3 points though, so again, very close.
Yeah. The elastic coming into play. 83 points now for Namur. So it's an 11-point game between the two teams and only 20 minutes left.
Yeah, so and still we're not over that century mark.
Absolutely spot on. This is just such a sign of how closely and well matched the two teams are.
I hope they're having fun. It looks like a fun game.
We're having fun.
Yeah,
and I hope you at home are having fun.
Yeah.
Tresca having fun. Lead jammer for Les Parpaings. And it is Alexander Supertramp who is jamming for Beastie, but recycled to way back to turn 4.
It's again the start at the jammer line who did make all the difference. So I'm guessing the battle for the jammer line is actually really important in this game.
But I think we've also seen when Alexander Supertramp is hit out, she takes a big loop to reset herself, and that costs time.
That's also something you gain with experience, I think.
Yeah.
2 blockers in the box for Les Parpaings, and we have 1 blocker in the box for Beastie Derby Girls at the end of Jam 7 here. 4 to Namur, 0 to Beastie Derby Girls. And again, we're creeping up a little.
And we are back to 7 points between the two teams. 87 for Namur, 94 for Beastie Derby Girls. 19 minutes left in this game. On the jam line, we have Chloroform for Namur up against Puput for Beastie Derby Girls.
Chloroform there, beautifully done by the inside line on her toe stops, skating around, taking a lot of speed. And Puput was actually out of the pack, but she fell over and gave the Namur blockers the chance to recycle in front.
That's always the worst as a jammer. You get out and free, I'm clear. No, I'm not.
And with only one blocker in the on track, the Namur jammer still manages to get through pretty easily, calling off the jam with 2 of her blockers in the box, and Kruger for Beastie Derby Girls in the box.
We have seen Kruger in the box, I think, more than any other Beastie Derby Girl, and that could come to play towards the end. 4 points for Namur in that jam, taking them to 3 points behind. 18 minutes left in this game, but we have a team timeout called by Beastie Derby Girls.
I think we see Kruger in the box a lot. It's because she is such a dominant player. She does it all, offense, defense. She has that overview perspective, makes her wall so much stronger. But then also when you are that dominant player, refs have an eye for you.
Eyes on you.
When you are always the blocker in the right place, when something happens, people will expect that things. I'm not saying she doesn't make the penalties, because she doesn't make the penalties, but she has the eyes on her. For sure.
So while we're in this timeout, and I think it's a good time for Beastie Derby Girls, because we're seeing what we saw in the first half, where Namur was able to do 3 or 4 jams where they could put on 4 points or 8 points or 7 points. We see a lot of 7 points in this game. And then Beastie Derby Girls are doing the big jams. And so it's just who's going to have most of the sort of lead jammer possession, if you like.
It's again, we're a couple of jams where the dominance is over to Namur's side. And will this timeout be in favor of the Beastie Derby Girls once again?
It worked in the first half. But as you said, previously discussed, it was for maybe 2 or 3 jams. They only have 1 more timeout and 1 official review after this one. So, let's hope that this has been used wisely.
Let's hope it takes more than 2 or 3 jams now. We'll see what happens. 2 blockers on the track for Namur, and that makes it a quick lead for Puput. They're straight off the line. And then Chloe is still behind the blockers for the Beastie Derby Girls. Puput on her scoring pass.
That's Mamie Weinstein.
It was Puput on the...
There was a correction on the board. So Mamie Weinstein brushing off 3 consecutive blocks from the Namur blockers. Just going, you can try, but you can't knock me over. So that did enable Namur's jammer to get out. So that
was a start pass.
So that forced Mamie to call the jam, but it was 4 points for Beastie Derby Girls, taking them to 98. So we are 75% of the way through the game, give or take a minute or 2. And we still haven't had a team over 100 points.
That's amazing.
And that's very much like how the game before this went. So I kind of feel a bit Groundhog Day.
It's amazing to see how well and focused these teams play, because it's the end of a long day, end of a long weekend for the girls from Namur, definitely. So we'll see what happens.
Tresca out, lead jammer for Namur, and it is Furious Coin who is pushing over multiple Namur blockers in one go to get out. But Tresca now in the pack for points.
It was again the start at the jammer line who made that quick jam, that quick lead happen. And it's like Namur wants to say, no, we won't let you go over that 1 century mark first. We want to be there.
Exactly. So 4 points to Le Papa takes them to 95 points and just 3 points behind Beastie Derby Girls on 98. 16 minutes left in this game. On the jam line, we have Alexander Supertrump up against
number 27.
Chloroform.
2 jammers we've seen a lot today already.
Chloroform probably picked up lead more times. I haven't got the stats. That's just my feeling.
I also believe that Alexander Supertramp is very good at the start, but does not benefit from the scoring passes as much as the other jammers from her team.
Oh, but kept on one skate on that outside line. Great sort of core strength needed to be able to pull off that kind of move from Alexander Supertramp.
Chloroform still on initial, having the star in hand, and Alexander Supertramp starting her first scoring pass, being knocked out there by the pivot of and making a track cut penalty.
So that was a direction penalty as well for Aurora. So we have one just released, and so now 2 of the Beastie Derby girls in the box. 3, number 117, Le Croix is on her way as well. And this is going to be an opportunity for Chloroform to put on some scoring passes.
And it is something we don't see often with the Beastie Derby girls, a full group in the box. And you saw the confusement on that on that blocker's face. If it doesn't happen often, you don't know what to do. And if you play in a penalty-heavy team, you often find yourself in that position.
Well,
and
you drill for it.
And it's obvious that in BC roller derby, roller girls, that doesn't happen too often, but they're getting there, and they're all released from the trap. But Alexander Supertramp
back in the box.
In the box, second penalty of this jam.
So Chloroform still has that opportunity, but now has a harder job with a full pack of Beastie Derby girls ahead of her. But interestingly, again, you just see the blockers all waiting, not trying to find a position, not scoping out where they're going to provide the offense in. And again, it's just that experience.
And both teams are now over the 100 mark. 107 for Namur, a lead change in their benefit, and 102 for the Beastie Derby girls. And for me, this felt like one of those jams where you felt that the cards are falling into place. The confusement at the Beastie Derby girls was real. They made a lot of penalties. They don't do that often. And Namur really kept it together and played very well.
I made the most of it, you know, 12-point jam, and in this game, that's super hard.
Yeah, indeed.
But that's a big hit out from Amy Weinstein, I believe. Volterain, who did that big hit out on Chloe with a recycle. But it's Alexander Supertramp now released from the penalty box. So both eligible for lead, but it's Chloe who gets the lead jammer status.
Alexander Supertramp stuck at the back of the pack, working on that initial pass. One of the blockers from Namur holding the pack in the front and confusing the entire wall, making it easier for Chloe to pass, not having to touch anyone. Alexander Supertramp then being recycled back and again stuck behind that awesome tripod of Namur, calling for her pivot, who is not immediately there.
So it is Rocky blah 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 trying to provide some offense to free up Alexander Supertramp, and actually then takes the star. So we now have Rocky blah 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 as the jammer for Beastie Derby girls. Chloe still pushing in the pack, scoring points, exits the pack, sees Rocky on the way, calls the jam, and that is 8 points for Namur, opening up a lead of 13 points against the Beastie Derby girls. 12 minutes left in this game. But we've been here before too. And so, you know, that piece of elastic holding the two teams together, stretched a little bit the other way, is going to come back. Beastie Derby girls now want to see what they're going to do to change it up again.
I really like that star pass in that last jam. It was a real patient star pass, like not immediately someone shouts my name, I will go and take that.
Oh, but that was beautiful. So Tresker on the jam line for Namur, but it was Puput who picked up lead. Offense from her team cleared the outside line, so no obstruction in the way of Puput.
It is Mamie Weinstein again. A little bit of a hiccup there with our scoreboard. 1 point scored by Namur, that's for sure. But I'm looking for the hands of the jam ref who does Beastie Derby girls, so to know how many points they have scored.
I think there's some conferring. Yes, there was some conferring. There were points, and they were 2. So it's
one of those gems.
Yeah, but it's important. It sends a message to Namur from Beastie saying, don't get comfy. We're coming for you.
You're not there yet.
So chloral form for Namur, and it's Mamie Weinstein for Beastie Derby Girls. And it is.
That tripod from Namur doing an awesome job keeping that jammer back once again and leaving that no pack again for their jammer, number 27, going around into her first scoring pass while the jammer of Beastie Derby Girls completes her first initial pass.
Yep. And that inside was left wide open. That was offense from Namur that left that inside. Beastie Derby Girls wanted to block, weren't allowed to. No. So 4 points for Namur, extending their lead out to 120. Beastie Derby Girls on 104. 10 minutes left in this game.
16-point leads is one of the biggest leads we have had in this game. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, this is such a fun game to watch. Probably not a fun game to play.
No. I think I would have died a million deaths if I were to play that game.
So Chloe on the jam line for Namur up against Furious Coin, who picks up lead jammer status in 8 seconds. Furious Coin now approaching the pack, 4 points. Chloe stuck behind that wall up front. It's a tripod. She tries for the outside, but they push her out over the line and recycle back to the pivot line.
Yes, good offense there by the pivot of Beastie Derby Girls, allowing some space for Furious Coin. She doesn't need more, and she passes a successful scoring pass.
But we have a star pass by Namur, and it is now number 5, Mariole, for Le Parpaings, who is jamming and forces the call off. It's holding Beastie Derby Girls to 6 points in that jam. So they are now just 10 points behind Le Parpaings. 120 for Namur, 110 for Beastie Derby Girls.
Yeah, what can we say?
This is really exciting. It's really good. And I want to see more of it,
yes.
But I've only got 8 minutes and 44 seconds.
It's incredible to see. It could go either way. That makes it so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
We have Alexander Supertramp and Tresca on the line.
Yep.
Jam line was for Namur. This often means they have lead. Will it be the case? Probably not, since I said it.
Announcer's guess. So Tresca on the inside, and it's Alexander Supertramp on the outside. And it's Alexander pushing out up front. Tresca stuck behind, but Tresca breaks through.
Still stuck behind 2 blockers, and the lead is for Alexander Supertramp.
Oh, and that last-minute hit from Derby Girl. Oh, and look at this work up front against Tresca. So that is She-Demon. She gave Alexander Supertramp nearly a whole lap just with that blocking.
Yes.
That was thrilling. I don't understand why Tresca slowed down.
I think she was maybe a little mesmerized by what is happening here. And again, we are only 6 points.
Yeah.
In between these two teams. 120 for Namur, 140 for Beastie Derby Girls.
But yeah, I was watching She-Demon out front, and then Tresca stopped, and I'm like, speed is your friend.
Yeah, and she is a legal target zone at this point. Just hit her.
You know, when you just go. Just
push and hit. Yeah.
So we have Chat on the line for the first time for Le Parpaings, and we have
It is Amy Weinstein again, I think.
No, it is Poo Poo.
Is it really?
It's 29.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can see where the confusion comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. 235 and 29. So it is Poo Poo who is in the box. So this is a power jam to Namur at a really crucial time. And first time that Chat has been on the jam line.
It's not Chat. It's Buzz Fight Her.
So we had a correction from the team during halftime, which I hadn't passed on to you. Yeah, so it's the jersey number is wrong.
You're making me into a liar.
And not intentionally. So yes, it is. So then the name on the board is correct. It is Chat. And coming through for a second scoring pass. Great use of a teammate to try and get a whip and a little bit of extra momentum.
And again, not all the way to the line, which is super important in field blocking, especially on that end of that play. So Chat took that line and good toe-stop work there securing her on that scoring pass, while the pivot now with the star in hand is now pushing her way past those blockers of Namur and closing that initial pass for her team.
So Lescrow out of the box. Shat also out on a scoring pass, sees the danger, calls the jam, but 10 crucial points, 11 crucial points for Namur, taking them to 131. Beastie Derby girls remain on 114, so this is now a 17-point game. 5 minutes, 30 seconds, as you said.
This is definitely the biggest gap between the two teams we've had in the second half. So.
And to not a huge surprise, Beastie Derby girls have called a timeout.
Yeah.
Oh, I think everybody needs a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The timeouts have been in the Beastie Derby girls benefit, so we'll see what happens now.
They've used them at the right time.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and if I was benching, not that I would, because I'm not, that's when I would have been calling them. So, you know, perhaps they're just reading my mind or listening to me on the stream, you know, secretly.
Yeah, they should.
They should, yeah. I've watched a lot of roller derby in my time. But it is that chance. So it's 5.5 minutes left. There is still plenty of time, as we saw in the game before, to change the outcome.
17 points, that's, or what is it? I'm again...
5 passes.
Yeah, that's 5 passes. That's 1 jam, or 2.
There's 2 jams, and you know, and I was like in the game before, yeah, you know, that's a big hill to climb, and then Namur absolutely smashed it. So we know that this can change, and we've seen these changes around. We've seen the Beastie Derby girls do high-scoring passes. They've had the majority of the multiple passes.
I agree.
Have gone to Beastie Derby girls,
and
so,
mainly after a timeout. So I'm really excited to see what happens.
And Mamie Weinstein is on the jam line. It's who I would put at this time.
And against Chloe.
Yeah.
It's the 2 high rotation jammers here for sure.
Yeah.
It is Namur on the jammer line, pushing and holding Amy Weinstein back, but Chloe also struggling there with that tripod.
Both teams with that super solid defense, but Mamie Weinstein trying the inside line, Chloe now trying the outside line. Only just past the pivot, not yet past the pivot line, and we're 25 seconds into this jam. This is what Namur are going to have wanted, a lead jammer status and eaten up the time, because that's the game for them now. How can they run down the clock and close down Beastie Derby girls' opportunities? Mamie Weinstein now out and is going to be approaching the pack any second for points. Chloe wants the full 4. Gets the full 4 and calls the jam.
Using her entire body, leaning a little on the blocker who is in her way to block her, and then using that speed to actually wrap herself around it and so securing that point.
It was 3 points. I was a little premature. So that was 3 points for Namur.
Were you though?
I was. And 134 points. So this is now...
I've never heard that expression.
Oh, okay. I was a little early. And so that was 20 points between the 2 teams. 4 minutes left on the clock. We have got...
And the lead is for Beastie Derby girls in this case.
Furious Coin. And it's Tresca who is jamming for Namur, the other high rotation jammer we've seen from Les Parpaings. But it's Furious Coin coming through for points.
Whew. Beautiful line work there, a beautiful hit. All of it legal, which is makes it even better. But and then over the outside line, using her defensive blockers a little bit as a shield.
But Mobocop doing an amazing job holding back Furious Coin till the rest of the Namur wall could catch her up.
It is not easy there for Ferocious Coin everywhere. From everywhere, blockers are coming in, trying to hold her back. But she did manage to score the 4 points for her team. Slowly again, building up.
But Tresca forcing that call off, only allowing 4 points, is exactly what Namur needed to do at this stage. So 3 minutes left, and there is still 26 points to go. So that is just making it now a very big job for Beastie Derby girls to bring this back by that final whistle. But still possible. On the jam line trying to do that is number 439, Alexander Supertramp, up against
Shat.
Up against Shat.
I now know it, so.
Yeah, maybe I should have told you that.
Well, it's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. Alexander Supertramp pushing out up front. Lead jam for Beastie Derby Girls.
And it's a beautiful line work there done by Chat, like a cat on a cord, passing on that outside line and secure, closing that initial for herself. Good offense.
But look at that offense from Beastie. That was fabulous, but just not timed right.
It was G.I. Joanna who managed to slip in between that offense and hold that jammer back. It would have been the full 4 points if she were not there, but it was only the 1 point.
Yeah, so 1 point taking Beastie Derby Girls to 119. So 1 minute 57 left in this game, and it is still 15 points between the two teams.
It's a nail biter.
It is a nail biter. So it's honestly going to come down to who gets lead jammer in this jam.
Yeah.
That's going to decide who wins this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Chloe on the jam line up against Mamie Weinstein. And
yes.
It's Beastie Derby Girls. Lead jammer status for Mamie Weinstein.
And it's again Mamie Weinstein using her own blockers a little bit as a shield, making sure that the other blockers are kind of confused as to where to go. And it's an apex jump.
But Chloe now exiting the pack for Namur. So Mamie Weinstein going to the penalty box. So this is the crucial jam that's going to decide the game, because Chloe now has a power jam, 30 seconds to extend that lead out for Namur out of reach.
But lead is also closed, so it's a full 2 minutes, and everyone is tired.
Yes, although that jam called because Chloe took a big spill to the floor, so we're just going to make sure that she is okay. Straight into an official timeout. But I think that was just a bit winded, because that was a big spill to the inside. Yeah,
so especially when you are already halfway in the air and then someone hits you out, you take that big swoop and you have no control over what happens to your body.
Yeah. So 50 seconds left on the clock. In that last jam, both teams picking up points. 4 for Namur, 3 for Beastie Derby Girls. So that gap is still, that's 16 points between the two teams. And we have 1 more jam, maybe 2. I'm not going to call it because I will be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have 4 now.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's actually possible.
I'm thinking not.
No,
that's why I'm saying something ridiculous.
So if you have been with us all weekend, thank you for joining us. It has been an amazing week of roller derby, and just so much heart and emotion. Seeing the Royal Army take the win over Leeds was incredible this morning, and then the emotion of Namur beating Nantes, the highest ranked team in the tournament, coming in second. So we had 2 big upsets today. We had amazing roller derby yesterday, and this has just been a fabulous game. And if you haven't been watching it, where were you? And then go and catch up on all these games on YouTube.
Like, what?
When they're up.
Why, really?
What else could you be choosing to do with your time?
It's good weather or anything. But for me, I do have to say the jam that kind of made the decision is the jam where BC Derby Girls had that massive load of penalties. Yeah. And the confusement was real, and it kind of... It shifted something. It threw them, really.
And it also put Namur with that lead that was the Beastie Derby Girls could never quite recover.
They are now slowly working on that, but the game is only 50 seconds.
Yeah, they've run out of time to bring that back. Yeah. It's all going to come down to this last jam, because 15 points is possible. We've seen that in this game.
Chaos and confusement is really your biggest enemy when you are playing roller derby. Yeah. When the things happen and you don't know why and you don't know how, that's when it goes wrong.
So we are starting with Alexander Supertramp in the penalty box. So it is a power start to Namur Les Parpaings.
And they are in the lead. And they are standing upright, so I'm guessing they want to have it as the last jam anyway. Oh,
so that immediate rush back, because they were hoping to draw back Mamie Weinstein to make it as difficult as possible. Sorry, it is Mamie Weinstein, not Alexander Supertramp. So it is Tresca up front, out for lead jam. Mamie Weinstein out of the penalty box. So lead is with Namur.
We have the pivot of Namur in the box.
Yep. So Namur will be looking to run down the clock in this jam. Tresca, although calls the jam with 15 seconds left on the period clock, We have an official review called by Beastie Derby Girls.
Obviously.
Smart tactics from the bench.
And a timeout. It's an official review as a timeout.
Yes.
This happens, so we are secure that we will have another jam coming.
Yeah. So Namur smart in putting points on the board. 4 more points takes them to 142. But I would have run that clock down.
And I think that's what they're explaining to Tresca at this moment.
Yes.
We should have run the clock down.
Yeah.
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 Because now we will start with a full bunch of blockers for Beastie Derby Girls.
Yes.
A jammer.
Yeah.
They will have to put on 3 blockers and a jammer. And they will start with one in the box.
Yes. So they're starting at a disadvantage.
And it's not unheard of, 20 points in one jam.
No.
It could happen. So,
it's Chloroform who has lined up for Namur, and we have
Ferocious Coin Coin.
Ferocious Coin Coin. Furious Coin Coin.
Furious Coin Coin.
Who is on the jam line for Beastie Derby Girls. 9 seconds left on the clock. Both teams lined up at the edges of their boxes. They know they both really won this, but they both look they've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. It must have been a great game to play when you're up against a team that's like equally strong, equally smart,
challenging
so much
you,
fun.
stretching you, and the energy with Chloroform took into that wall from Beastie Derby Girls. And also the energy the Furious Coin Coin's also bringing after an hour of this game is phenomenal.
And Namur was on their favorite spot, but they were not able to secure the lead because Ferocious Coin Coin is actually the one who is with the lead.
So the key is how long can Beastie Derby Girls hold back Chloroform? That's what this is about.
And can Ferocious Coin Coin benefit from this scoring pass?
Yeah, but Chloroform is out, completing her initial pass. So on her way. And that is a cut penalty from Furious Coin Coin. So
this is the decider.
This is now a 2-minute jam with a 30-second power jam for Chloroform.
Who is extremely tired by the look of it.
Yeah.
I also noticed that one of the jammers of the first half is on the track, but is not jamming.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a call that's been made by Beastie Derby Girls to not have her as a jammer, but as a blocker on the. And it's benefited for them, if you ask me.
Yes, Spin Alien we saw primarily as a jammer, but is trying to chase down Chloroform, but nobody was holding her back. That is 8 points now for Namur. We have 30 seconds left on the jam clock. We have number 117, Le Croc, now back on track as the pivot for Beastie. Being goated, trying to give as much time to Chloroform as possible to score points. Furious Coin Coin now standing in the box. We have 10 seconds on the jam clock. How many points can Chloroform put on in this last 5 seconds? Furious Coin Coin is released. And that's the game.
Unofficial score at this moment is 150 for Namur Le Parpaing and 122 for Beastie Derby Girls.
Yeah. I feel that score's a little unfair. I mean, it's the final 2 minutes that have seen that score widen.
Yes.
And I just feel for Beastie Derby Girls because that was, 3 points in that last jam. So it is 152 plays to 125. I mean, that's still only a 27-point game, but it feels huge.
Yeah, it is.
Compared to how the rest of the game is
It is the biggest difference in points I think we've had during the entire game. But that's also Derby. Derby is until the last second that you are on that track.
Yeah.
You should not forget that because what we've seen in the game before this one, the last minutes count.
So that score has been finalised. Namur Le Parpaings, 152 points. Beastie Derby Girls, 125. That brings Skate Around 3 to a conclusion. I'm personally gutted. I want another day of this. but I'm very tired now.
It was my first full weekend, and I feel like we should do it again next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you to the production team. Thank you to the refs, the NSOs, the volunteers, the photographers, everybody who's helped this be such a fantastic weekend. And the biggest thanks to Namur Roller Girls for an incredible weekend. Thank you very much. Hopefully see you next year.